authenticity emitting authenticity from us and then the receiving authenticity back from someone else is actually like the state and disposition that has not just the potential to make us the most well, but is the only way to be well. Hi, we're Jamie and Joan, two humans and bodies who take care of bodies for a living.
We created this podcast as practical medicine for bodies living through this disembodied time.
We want to invite you to come sit with us and experience the beautiful, loving, complex person that is your body. Well, hi.
Hi, Jamie. Here we are.
Hi. Hi, Joan and our other friends. We have other friends with us here today, don't we?
We sure do. We have so many friends. It's a party.
We have the most friends that our recording software, is that the right word for it, will allow us to have at one time.
I think so. I think we're maxed out. There's 4 other people on the track that you haven't heard from yet. How cool is that? Well, we were talking before that we're going to not share how we've experienced our anatomy this week here. Maybe we'll do that on the Substack part, actually.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Because we really want to spend a lot of good time in community with these fabulous humans we have here. So, Jamie, did you want to say anything to introduce them before we have them introduce themselves?
Yes, I will. These 4 magnificent human beings are 4 of the 20 people who participated in my very first round of, very first cohort of my new group coaching. Though I've been feeling out the term group mentorship. That actually is feeling better based on the head nods I'm seeing in this room right now. That feels good. We're all liking that. So my new group mentorship container called the Refuge. The idea for it came through in the winter in a very low moment of just overwhelming awareness that the way that I had been doing this work that I apparently love, it just was not a sustainable way to do it anymore. And the brief origin story is that I was at one of the lowest moments of the low that was about a month long. And in that very low moment, I was actually in a group call with my online membership space that has been meeting together for almost 6 years now, of which Jess has been, who you'll meet in a moment, everyone, has been a long-term participant there for, oh my gosh, over 5 years now. And something really magical happened in that group conversation in December of last year of 2025. That without going into too many details, something clicked for me and I realized that groups is what I wanted to do moving forward, because the magic that happens in community, in a group dynamic, is something so different than, and in some sense, significantly more valuable than what I can offer as an individual person and practitioner in a one-on-one setting. And so I decided to run with that and do a group. And these 20 people were like, I will beta test this with you. I will go on this journey and we'll all see what happens, from it together. I knew that I wanted to teach and not just facilitate. But at the time I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to teach. I bet I have things to teach, but none of them are written down. So, and then it was also this awareness that I didn't want it to be just me. I also wanted some of my very close friends and respected fellow practitioners and teachers to also come and teach. Joan, you were one of those people. And we actually just closed that container last night. It was 3 months long. It was quite a profound journey for everyone, from what I understand, from what people have shared. We met together once a week over Zoom for learning and for practice. And then we also had a consistent running Telegram group chat throughout the entire 3 months as well, which I feel definitely enhanced the the experience of like the connection and the cohesion and the coherence within the group. So I have never done anything like this before. And it was the most fun and enjoyable thing I've done in 10 years of doing stuff, like doing this kind of thing. So yeah, we wanted to, Joan, it was actually your idea when we were ideating this season and talking about pleasure and wanting to talk about pleasure, this concept of pleasure in community, the type of pleasure that can only emerge from community, and also the type of pleasure that is available to experience and receive and participate in the context of community. And so we've got 4 people here who just spent the last 3 months in community with one another and with me, and also with Joan for a bit of it. And so we're here to talk with them, with you, with all of you about that experience. So I'll just go ahead and maybe just call on you one at a time just to allow you to introduce yourselves. You can say your name. If you want to say roughly the area and the world that you're from, that might be nice as well. We don't need exact coordinates. And then anything you might want us to know about like who you are, what you do, that kind of stuff. And then what brought you to the Refuge, how you found out about it. So I'll just start in the corner over here. Richard, why don't you get us started?
Hello, everyone. My name is Richard Lee Tai. I'm calling from Calgary in Canada. I do many things, including speaking, facilitation, coaching, consulting, training to be a yoga teacher. Mm-hmm. I came to this program, funnily enough, through the podcast. That's all I do. That's like it just popped
full up. Circle.
Yeah, exactly. It popped up on my Spotify one day because I've been on this journey recently of changing my relationship to my body, trying to feel more embodied. And so this podcast came across. I listened to quite a lot of episodes, and then I heard about the Refuge program. I think actually I heard about it 1 or 2 days before it was closing. So
cool.
Sent Jamie.
That worked out great for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So then had the pleasure of being part of this program for the last 3 months, and now I'm here as a guest.
Amazing. Joan, we've got another Canadian here.
That's right. Go Canada.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so next up, Sarah.
Hello, my name is Sarah, and I live in Seattle, Washington, Pacific Northwest. Mm-hmm. Yes, love it up here.
It's the best.
It is. How I discovered the Refuge, I still honestly don't remember how I found the Experiential Anatomy podcast. Like, I think it might have been in some blog post or something, mm-hmm. But I was like, it sounds interesting. So I listened to an episode and I was like, oh, this feels right. This feels like, why isn't anyone talking about this? And yeah, I sent it to a friend and we pretty much went through all of the episodes kind of like at similar time, and we would talk about it and we would send voice notes about it, and it was amazing. And
I love that.
Yeah, I feel like it was just one of the first times where I felt like there was such a focus on listening to your body, feeling, mm-hmm. being in your body, not just talking about being in your body and thinking mm-hmm. about being in your body, but actually like, you know, your body is a person, and mm-hmm. you can be in relationship with it. And I must have found out about the Refuge, I think probably on the Substack newsletter. Mm-hmm. I was going back and forth and I was like, should I do it? I don't know. Like, we'll see. And I just kept putting it off. And then it was like the last day and I went to sign mm-hmm. up and it said it had closed. And I was like, well, let me just email Jamie. And if she responds, like, I'll do it. And then you responded and your message, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm sold. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's my journey into the Refuge.
I'm so glad that you emailed. It's funny. I just went and double checked the wait list yesterday. And what I mean by that is I needed to know that I could find where it lived on Squarespace. Because I was like, I don't have an assistant doing this shit for me anymore. I gotta, where is this? These emails are going somewhere. I need to find where they are. Yours is actually the first one on it. And when I saw that, I had a little heart-warmed moment just thinking about that, like, you're like, almost missed it, but just made it. And it's been such a pleasure there you go, getting to connect with you. I mean, we had a one-on-one as well. Like it's been, and you've talked about coming up to Bellingham and getting some body work. And so I'm so grateful that you followed that impulse. And I am so grateful that you decided to just reach out and check and see, even though it was technically closed, because you've been such a wonderful gift to have in the group. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that I just followed that impulse, and so like I just felt like I couldn't not do it.
Yeah, amazing. One would even say she was listening to her body.
Exactly.
Okay, so Constance, you are next.
Hi, my name is Constance, and I am currently in Texas. I just moved back here very recently, sort of at the beginning of Refuge was when I was moving back here from overseas. And so the many transitions I've gone through the past few months to be held within this container has been so special. And the people here, it's been a massive gift. So I have been following you, Jamie, for years, I guess, I'm not sure, 2017, 2018.
Whoa.
And it's been, I don't know, time is a warp. I need to probably check on that or something like that. And I've just been so grateful for your work and the way that you express and the way that you have been telling the truth in your work for so long, and letting yourself evolve and pivot and change. And it's been really impactful for me. And then when you two started Experiential Anatomy, I remember I was actually living in Scotland at the time, which I think there's a synchronicity for you and your sabbatical. So I just remember I was so, I just was loving listening to you both and the way that you came together and the way that you love bodies and are just curious about everything. And so it's imprinted for me just listening to y'all when I was up in the Highlands and just, falling in love with what you were doing together. And then when you announced this, I just knew I had to be a part of it. And little did I know how much being in this would really carry me through the last few months. So my heart is full.
Constance, it's my woe there a second ago was this feeling of I am so used to at this point expecting that anyone who was engaging with me or felt resonance with me in like 2017, 2018, I shook them off a long time ago because of these various different transformations and evolutions. And that feels, some part of me feels like we might have like discussed this in some measure before, but what I know in my body, I've seen your name consistently. We've engaged via Instagram consistently. And there had been for a long time this sense, especially when you, at some point, I guess when you were in Scotland, you sent me a message letting me know that you were in Scotland. Like there just kept being this feeling of like wanting to move closer to this person. And so it felt very special when I opened the Refuge that you came into it. That's a funny way to put that. But it's been extremely cool to actually really get to know you on a more personal level versus just through, these little messages and glimpses of each other's lives through social media. So I'm really grateful that it worked out.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, Jess, it's your turn.
Hey, I'm Jess. I have worked as a mental health counselor I've been licensed for the last 18 years as a mental health counselor. I live in Nashville, Tennessee now. And as Jamie said, I've been a part of her online group since 2021 and various other projects that Jamie has done. I've done one-to-one sessions, including a really, really powerful one recently. And also kind of a guinea pig when she was in school for massage therapy.
Yes. The first time I ever touched you was one of the most bonkers sessions I've still ever had.
Same.
To this day. It was so cool.
It was wild, yeah. And
yeah.
And then a fairly recent one a hands-on session that was also really powerful, where in both of those sessions, I really felt my late mother kind of there with us and sort of in like allowing myself to be in your hands, and in a very mothering way.
Yeah.
I have a hard time describing who you are to me, Jamie, because you are kind of like a mother sort of figure to me. You're a mentor, somebody who challenges me, someone who really, really sees me, I think that I learned about, well, first of all, I was in the Coven group when I was in that powerful session, and got to experience that myself. And it was really amazing for you to be so vulnerable with us and authentic. And then for all of us to be able to hold you, so that group has been really, really powerful and meaningful in my life. And I think that I heard about this group from you in a one-to-one, maybe right after that. And I was like, oh yes. I mean, you said like, this is like, you're kind of the demographic, you're kind of the type of person, especially as someone in the helping professions. You're the kind of person that I'm kind of looking for. And of course, I'm like, sign me up. I think I might have been the first one to sign up. I think
that's probably true. Yeah.
As soon as it was open, I was like, I'm in. I guess we'll get into some of later kind of what's gone on in this group, but kind of like Constance, I have been through a big, big transformational time period in my life. And it has been building to this since for a long time, actually, but definitely since 2021. And I like to talk about in those early groups with Jamie and in her Your Body's a Person course. Just, we've talked in the Refuge about open and closed posture. And I remember being very, very like kind of closed in on myself when I would try to talk, and I was pushing myself to talk in that group. And
it's so hard to imagine now. Like, I know that's true, but in this moment, as you're saying, I'm like, right, there is a past version of you that wouldn't like not open up. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And of course, I came into this group feeling more confident, having been in the other groups. And there were a few people from that, from your original group that are also in there. So that was helpful. And in this group, I pushed myself even more to share vulnerably. And and some pretty big things happened during that have been things that have needed to happen for a really, really long time. And first of all, I love every single person in the group. I've loved how we've gotten to know each other in the chat, and how much we've held each other in the chat, and then also on Tuesday nights for 12 weeks. But it's also happened that I have gotten closer to certain people within the group, and including Constance is one of them. And these are people that I've needed. These are people for my next steps in my career and all of that, and even just my personhood. Like, these are people that I needed to feel resourced for my next whatever's going to happen. And I have a lot of visions for what could happen, and I think will happen. And to the pleasure aspect too, it's been interesting because like I've needed these kinds of friends, and it's like people like Constance, it's almost like, I don't know if she's used these exact words, but like, it's a pleasure to know you. It's a pleasure to know you, Jess, and it's just refreshing as a person who has like devoted my life to giving to other people, to like really spending time helping other people and holding other people and their emotions and all of that. to be held and to allow that. And I think, again, back to how long I've been involved with you, Jamie, that has been a process. Just learning to, like, again, be held and allow it and not run from it or doubt it. Like, are these people really genuine? No, yes, they are. They have they've showed up for me. They're showing up, and these are forever friends. Like, these are people that they're not going to get rid of me. And I'm not, and I will never let them go either. It's and to Constance, she's also introduced me to these other amazing people, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do after the Refuge. And now I'm in another kind of online group via Constance that it's my next step. It's cool. Some of my, and these women that are involved in it are really amazing. And I can't wait to be more fully involved with that. So it's just, again, the web, you talk about the web all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, this was the right thing to do. The Refuge was the right thing to do. And then I've met people like Constance and other people that are a bridge to more potential resourcing.
The next phase. Yes, totally. Like, as you're sharing, capacity is everything and everything is capacity. And what I hear you expressing that has everything to do with community and everything to do with pleasure is like, we can only receive and experience community and pleasure, and the pleasure that comes via community and the community that comes via pleasure, based on our capacity to hold and receive what feels good. And it's like a coin with two sides. It's what feels good and also meets our needs. And not everything that feels good meets our needs. Not everything that meets our needs feels good. But when we're talking about communal relationships and we're talking about village, I think the ideal arrangement is that you have both of those going on at the same time. And what I know about the human animal historically, based in our lived experiences that cause our bodies to remember certain things that, caused us and them to hold ourselves certain ways, it's actually quite challenging to be a person in the world who can let the things that you need that feel good happen to you, actually. So one of the things that I feel like I got to witness happen for everyone who participated in the Refuge over the last 3 months, while also simultaneously experiencing myself, is this capacity expansion, this ability to hold more of the frequency of authenticity is how I've figured out that I want to explain it. Like, authenticity is actually the highest vibrational frequency that living matter can vibrate at. And so we can deduce from that knowledge that authenticity, emitting authenticity from us and then the receiving authenticity back from someone else, is actually like the state and disposition that has the, not just the potential to make us the most well, but is the only way to be well. If we're talking about or thinking about community, like, I mean, a lot of us here, maybe all of us here, are raised in like religious environments where a lot of us felt like our belonging came at the cost of our authenticity. And so to have these experiences later down the road, to find ourselves in these connections, these communal connections with groups of people where over time, there's this like unburdening of all of that performance. There's this kind of like unveiling of our true self, and we are fully received and fully seen. And then we get to fully see and fully receive someone else. Like, there's just such a magic and a medicine to it. And I really don't believe it's possible for us to be well without that. And so that's one of the main things I watched happen. Yes, there were individual transformations for each person. But again, like, placing all of those individual transformations in the context of this larger communal thing happening is like what I'm fucking here for now. Like, I'm living for this stuff. Like, it's not that I don't still enjoy the one-on-one stuff. I love going deep with people in a focused way, but this group shit, man, it's the sauce. I love it. It's really incredible. But Joan, I'm really curious, like, now that you've heard everyone share a little bit, and you were there for one of the Tuesdays as well, and you had some gorgeous slides, and everyone loved your presentation, both your presentation and your presentation, the way you presented. I'm really curious, just kind of if there's any organic questions coming up for you now that you feel like you might want to ask in general or ask a specific person based on what you've just heard.
Yeah, well, I'm just reflecting on what you all shared and what you just shared, Jamie, about like the power of being in community. And I'm also like deeply aware of how like some of our like earliest and deepest wounds happen in community as well. And so a very common strategy is to remove ourselves from authentic community, either by like, you know, exile, see you later, I'm going to be a hermit out in the woods or whatever version of that, like lone wolf type thing. Yeah. Or you still remain in community, but no one gets to see the real you. I mean, that was certainly the path I chose, where it's like, I'm going to try and, you know, I guess win at this life thing, and I'm going to do it by showing everyone what I think is the version of myself that's most pleasing to them, you know? And so it can feel extra scary to be authentically yourself in community. Certainly for me in my journey, it started for me in one-on-one, like therapy and that kind of thing, and certainly our work together. And like a whole other level is reached once I felt comfortable to try and risk being myself in even just like with a couple other people.
Yes.
And, you know, and how that is absolutely kind of like a phase or a stage of like healing and reclaiming your authenticity and your sovereignty of being like, and now I'm going to do this thing where I'm like going to be myself even here. I'm going to be myself even over here. And so just naming also for me that continues to be like stages and phases. And there's still some places where I'm like, real wobbly, and other places where it feels like, oh yes. And an additional thing I'll say is like being in the refuge, you know, I had some of those like same kind of anxious thoughts I have of like, oh my gosh, like I really had a little bit of a thing of like, should I use slides or not? Because I was like, Jamie's group, these are going to be like cool, like hippie wellness body people.
That, but cool people love slides, Joan.
But they're like, this is going to be so corporate or whatever. I don't know. Because I'm so used to presenting to like people who are like, what are bodies? I'm a doctor. You know, like this is like the flip.
What are bodies? I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor. But I mean, you know what I mean. You all know what I mean.
But it's funny.
Tragically, it's like a tragic hilarity. Yes. And so like part of me being authentic was like bringing my slides and still like doing my thing. And like the magic of like how I could tell very quickly how attuned to this group is like all of you choosing yes, you know, the reasons you chose yes, and then how you were held by Jamie in creating this container, and then also how you held each other, which like it was like I had such a blast. It was such a fun thing, and people felt safe to share. And I just think that's such a beautiful alchemy of everyone's magic, you know, and included not everyone show the opposite of people showing up perfect, or like it's just like people showing up authentically them. So that's my testimonial and share. And I was actually curious, my question that came to me was like, what for each of you, like what or how have you found community tricky? And was there anything you learned about how to be more authentically yourself in community through participating in the refuge? Maybe I'll start question. With Sarah.
Yeah. I mean, I totally resonate with what you were just saying about wanting to show up in a way that I think people want me to show up in.
Yes.
I think in previous communities, like it has been hard for me to really open up and be vulnerable. And that's still something very much that I'm working on. But I felt like in the refuge, my experience was, so I also, throughout the last 12 weeks, I was also in my own individual therapy. So it kind of felt like I was practicing letting my body tell the truth and what that feels like in therapy first. I was like, this is like the safest space. And then, and I think I talked to Jamie about this a little bit in our one-on-ones. Like, I can also practice this in my relationship. Like, I feel safe to do that as well. And then also, I feel like this container was a perfect place to start to practice that as well. Because I feel like it does take practice. And like I said, it's, I think it's going to be a lifelong journey, but I was really trying to challenge myself of, when I would have some type of bodily reaction to something, like, what if I just shared it? Like, especially in the group chat, I think it felt safe to do it there. And I know one of the things I had shared after one of our sessions was about the idea of belonging, and how, I feel like after like group things, sometimes I feel this sense of, oh, did I share too much? Like, am I gonna like weird people out by sharing this? Or I wasn't articulate enough, or I didn't say it in the right way, or
that
I should have
tricky,
said
like,
this.
Too much, not enough thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then like not enough, like, well, I'm like too quiet, like I'm not participating enough, and I'm like not adding enough value. So I was like, I'm gonna share that in the group chat, and I'm gonna share it in a voice note. And I feel like I was held so gently, and people shared, saying that, yeah, like I have felt that too. And I think that also was just part of being in this group, is just realizing that you're not alone in these complex, messy feelings. Like, I feel like almost everything that someone shared, there was someone else who was like, yes, totally. Like, I felt that. I resonate with that. Which I think that in and of itself is so powerful. And one of the biggest takeaways for me was like, it doesn't really have to make sense all the time. Like, it can be messy. It doesn't have to be fully articulated, which is something that I'm still working on. But I feel like seeing other people like model that too, and kind of be like, I'm not totally sure where this is going to go, but like, I feel like the need to share something. And then, and like Jamie, like you modeling, showing up as a leader, being like, I've never done something like this before. I don't really know exactly how it's going to go, but like, I'm going to let it unfold in the way that feels right for me and for us. And I just feel like I haven't really been in spaces where with that type of leadership. And I think it is, it's like authentic, genuine leadership, which I think is so powerful.
Yes, you're like modeling.
Thank you for saying that. I actually just had a one-on-one with another participant in the Refuge yesterday, where she was, towards the end of the session, she was articulating how she was feeling like, kind of like you just mentioned, like I feel like I'm talking, but I'm not making sense. And I got to delightfully explain to her, like, that's what coherence between mind and body feels like and sounds like. Because if you're really actually starting to like feel what you're saying instead of just like thinking about what you're saying, that's when what you're saying starts to get scattered and nonlinear. It's actually a good sign. It's a sign of healing. It's a sign of integration, which is really cool. And yes, it's extremely vulnerable to do that in front of people. But as Joan said, so many of our wounds happen in communal contexts, and like wounds that occur in relationship and in community can only be healed in the context of relationship and community. It's almost like we've got like a lock and a key that like you're looking for the lock or the key that fits that lock. And so the permission that we give ourselves and we give each other to allow that coherence to happen within us in the presence of another person, that, they could, that's the risk, right? It's risky, it's vulnerable, because they could reject us. They could be like, you're not making any sense. Bye. I hate you now, and like, stakes are low, and it's a therapist, stakes are probably lowest actually when it's someone you're paying to listen to you. That's what's awesome about that kind of, dynamic. Stakes are low in other, relational dynamics and settings too, but the stakes get higher the more people there are. But we did not evolve just to be in one-on-one relationships. We did not evolve as a species to just go like silo ourselves off either alone or with one other person, our species thrives in the context of village. So there's something about this capacity question of like, there's something to this, like the need to develop the capacity to allow the authenticity of that coherence between mind and body happen in front of other people. And then I feel extremely grateful for that reflection about like how compelling and impactful it was for you to witness me as the leader of the space show up like that. In particular, what's coming to mind to me now is the Tuesday that we were meeting during the time that my cat was dying. And I really, when I was preparing, I really was like, I'm going to pull it together. I'm going to fucking pull it together. I can do this. I know how to do this. And then it's literally because of the depth of relationship that we had all developed with one another over those like 2 months at the time, that literally the moment I got in the call and I started seeing y'all's faces, the emotion was coming because I felt so safe. And like the second I opened my mouth, I was like, okay, scrap it all. Like, I don't know. This is how it's going to be today. Like, I'm going to be like this today, and I'm going to follow what my body is saying right now. And yeah, there's something so important, so profound about our willingness and ability to do that with and for and in front of each other that I think is like the glue that, holds the web together. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Yes. I'd love to hear, Richard, what your experience was about anything feel tricky about being in community and anything helpful.
Yeah, there's so much I could say about this topic. It's a juicy topic, which is great.
Let's go.
I'll build off what you were sharing, Jamie. I remember watching a talk from a person from Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is a program that offers like mentorship to youth. And the staff there was talking about how a lot of these children come from traumatic, chaotic types of households. And she said, relational wounds require relational healing.
100%.
So these wounds that these children experience can't just be healed in isolation. It has to be done and role modeled with someone else that can actually demonstrate what it's like to have a healthy, stable, presenced type of relationship, because that's not something they ever experienced or had much of growing up. And so that phrasing of relational wounds require relational healing has been very impactful for me. And I think that's why community is so vital.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we can do a lot of this self-work, which I think is still very valuable, but so much of it is like co-regulation and practicing it with other people, where sometimes it does feel risky and vulnerable. But there's such a powerful sense when you do get witnessed and held for who you are. Yeah. And you start to realize that everyone's just trying their best. We can put this like perfect facade of like, oh, we have it all figured out, but we don't. I remember I have so many teachers and influences in my life. I'm remembering Dr. Kristen Neff. She's a researcher on self-compassion. And she has a quote about how I'm a mess, but at least I'm a compassionate mess. So
that's delicious.
We're just trying our best. We're all messy, but at least we can be like gentle and kind with ourselves and other people.
Yeah. I think it's the only sustainable way to be a mess.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And there's not another option.
Yeah, that's right.
There's no mess option.
Yep.
Yeah. Another one of my big influences too is Brene Brown. She has a book called I Thought It Was Just Me. I think that phrase really encapsulated where we hold all sorts of baggage and wounds where we think no one else is going to get it, or I can't share this because XYZ, we're going to get judged or ostracized for it. When in reality, other people are feeling it too. It's not just you. So, but it takes time to learn that, because we learn all sorts of protective patterns from a young age that we shouldn't share certain things. But when there's a safe enough container, and with lovely people, we can start to show more and more parts of ourselves and realize it's not just me.
Yeah. Oh. One thing that came to me as you were just sharing is like, in some ways, like, whatever kind of work or journey you're on when you're on your own. Like that's still helpful, but like it's all kind of still just a theory or a hypothesis unless you like actually test it out with other people and test it. And like then it becomes true, or it's time to update the hypothesis. And you got to do that with lots of different kinds of people, because the first group and the first people think it's a nope, but it's like still seeking that resonance and trusting that if it's coming from you and coming from your body, there are bodies out there who are interested and will resonate back. And if the first couple groups ain't got it, that's, you know, I hope they're all resonating with each other at least, but you know, for you to keep seeking and find your resonance, it's worthwhile, because otherwise you'll never have that sort of like answer to the question that you're raising for yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to add this point too. One of my speaker friends, she talks about belonging, and she broke down the word belonging. It's be and longing. As in, we have this longing or desire or yearning within us to be in community. And sometimes that longing gets very suppressed, or we need to conform, or as you know, we've been talking about, we have to change who we are to fit in. But if we could just be in places where we can belong, that's the magic sauce. It takes some while to find it.
Yeah, worth the search.
And belong by way of, I think with that too, that breaking down of that word, like a longing to be, like belonging in that particular way where we are just being. We're not doing anything. We're not trying in any way. We are simply being. Again, it's like that tuning to the frequency of authenticity, like being 100% honest, both like with what we're verbally saying, sure, but like with our bodies, like our bodies are telling the truth the entire time, and nobody is breaking their gaze, literally or figuratively. Like their posture towards us is still open. Like that is the base fundamental desire of the human animal in the first place. I think that's like our origin story is looking for that, longing for that, needing that, deserving that. And the journey we go on, you know, throughout our lives based on whether we get that or how much of that we get in our developmental experience, and then trying to either repeat that or heal that throughout the life that we live.
Beautiful. Constance, what's been your community experience?
This is all making me emotional. I love that what you said about belonging, Richard. That's, and I felt that so much in this space. And, you know, there's also so many things I could say, so much to speak to. But one of the things that keeps coming up to me of what this experience felt like is, I think you used this word early on, spaciousness. It just felt so spacious in every sense of the word. Like there was not an urgency, like the old kind of ways of being, of healing or coming into relationship with each other. It was at our own pace, and this desire to develop this deeper intimacy with my own body, and then also with the people that I was, you know, sharing this space with, and to stay curious and to stay, you know, even if that means being quiet, or if it means whatever is coming up, just to stay with it and stay curious, and experiencing that on my own, but then also witnessing all of you do that too in your own ways. It just, there's so many things that are hard to find words for, but, you know, every week coming together and people feeling that spaciousness to be in grief and share that, or to be in exhaustion, or to be in excitement. You know, there was room for all of it. And I think being able to kind of hold the full scope of humanity in that way, that we're all going through this, all of this exists inside each of us, and telling these stories together really activates longings. So I guess to speak to the longing thing, it really activates these longings and yearnings in my own heart of like, hey, I have that too, and I can be curious about this part of me I haven't explored yet. So it just kind of like went in all these different directions for me. And on the pleasure piece, like that, I realized getting to hold that in this group of people and getting to hold each other's stories, like that was so rich in pleasure to me, because I feel like, we were really able to witness each other's grief and celebrate the courage that it took to bring that forward, and to check on each other. And then when grief starts to shift and you start to see like that someone's exploring new paths, like Jess, I'm really, really thinking of you here, that actually getting to witness this arc of this season of life for you where you're in it, and then expressing all the different emotions and giving them space, and then coming into this excited exploration of what's to come, like that has brought me so much pleasure to celebrate with you. And I just, I think there's been different ways we've all been able to celebrate with each other. And, celebration is such a grounding energy to me. It's saying like, okay, I'm in agreement with, the God of your understanding or the universe or whatever language you use around this, like more of this, please. Yes. I'm in gratitude for this. And I don't know, just getting to celebrate together. That's been such a big thing for me.
Excellent point. Excellent, Constance, as always. So beautifully expressed. Like this, the celebration piece of it, like, thank you for bringing us back around to pleasure. Joan and I have had trouble this season in actually coming back around to pleasure sometimes in these conversations, because what we're talking about in the context of pleasure is just so juicy to talk about on its own. But this piece of community and if we are in fact healing and transforming in these contexts, in these communal contexts, then there is so much celebration to send and to receive towards one another. And like, what could possibly be more pleasurable and enjoyable than that, than watching another person who you have grown to care about and know and love because of your participation in relationship with them, like watching things work out in their favor. Like, and then because frequencies, right? Like when you are like, when that opens you and you're like, amazing, I'm so thrilled. Like, what do we think that does to your potential now of having things like that happen to you in your experience? So that piece of the pleasure of the celebration and community, thank you for bringing that up, because yes, that's one of the most enjoyable parts of it.
Yeah. I think I just can add one more thing.
Please.
I mean, you said this, just to add a little bit to it is, sorry for using you as an example again, Jess, but I'm going to do it. Like getting to witness you seeing yourself, like your soul essence more clearly and holding that rather than these roles that you filled for so long. But it's like, wait a minute, who am I like really in here, and letting that out?
Yes.
Because I think that that's something when we care about people and we love people, we just want them to see themselves the way we do and vice versa. I know I have people who want that for me as well. And so I think getting to see those moments is just magnificent.
Magical. Yeah. Well, Jess, you're the last of the four to get the question.
Perfect timing. Tell us all about that.
I'm sure you have no thoughts about
none
spoken of.
No. Wow. Like I said earlier, I think like I've been just on the edge of some things for a while. And I think coming into this group, and even in the first session, I was like, oh my gosh, I think I might have even said it in the chat, this is going to be life-changing.
I remember that. It was like one of the first comments in the chat from the first session.
I just was like, what I've seen in your groups before, like exponentially more even. There was just this feeling of like, something's happening.
Something's coming.
Yeah. And I knew it was happening in me, but also, again, getting to see that happen in a lot of other people in various ways too. Not always like, sharing outwardly in the group. Lots of stuff going on in the chat.
Yes, correct.
People like chiming in like, yes, I understand that. And resonate. And we don't need to go into all of the details, but definitely, yeah, this group definitely saw me through grief, a lot of grief around kind of letting go of some things. And, you know, some weeks it was like, oh my gosh, I've had this breakthrough. And other weeks were like, I'm exhausted. And other weeks were like, I'm so angry. You know, as a mental health counselor, people talk about stages of grief, and that's not really how grief works. It's like this roundabout kind of in and out circular kind of process. And I was sort of watching myself doing that, like kind of like Constance was saying, and because it was being reflected back to me that what I'm saying, what I was saying and what I was feeling was resonating with other people. And in some one-to-one conversations and friendships that have occurred from that, people are like, you have to tell this story. You have to like keep talking, and you have to keep sharing because it matters. And I'm an Enneagram 9, and like the core wounding is I don't matter. My voice doesn't matter. And in groups like this, my voice matters, my personhood matters, my body matters. Yeah, I mean, there were definitely times where I was like, oh my God, I'm sharing too much, or I don't know how, like, early on, I think Jamie, like I said, I don't, like, this is not coming out right, or something like that. And you were like, no, it is.
It's coming
this is
out
exactly
at
right.
all. So.
Exactly. Which is a huge
perfect.
deal. Exactly. Right. In past communities, and again, even the field that I'm in, I think that I like sometimes have to wear masks in my work. I think that I also, like, from my family of origin, all of that, not necessarily showing everything about myself or what I'm feeling or whatever. That's default. It's real easy to get into, like, I mean, I don't really have to share anything. Like, I'm a listener. Like, I listen and I reflect. And I think the way I showed up in this group, like, is a reflection of my relationship with you, Jamie, and the other group, and just all the work I've done on being in my body. And I mean, even the way that I'm sitting right now is very, very different. Again,
Totally. Yes, it is. Yes.
Than when you and I met. And yeah, and there's been a fear.
Like, literally, like, the quality of your face is different. Like there was just more, you were more, not just closed, but like kind of sunk, like sunken. And you have, like, again, not just expanded, but have brightened over the course of time that I've known you. And also, I would say my reflection of how you showed up in this group, it was the most space I've ever seen you take up without, and this is just my perspective of you doing that as I witnessed you do it. Very infrequently did I perceive you to be self-conscious about it when it was happening. And that, what a growth, Jess.
100%. Wow. I sometimes did get self-conscious afterwards. And I've told Constance, like, sometimes, like,
sure. Yep.
Like, the stuff that I was sharing was so, like, it was just flowing kind of out of me that I didn't always know what I was saying, but I knew it was true, the things that I was saying. And yeah, I think that all of that is super important for the things that I have on my horizon in terms of like trying to help a lot more people than I can just in one-to-one therapy sessions. I love that. I love it. But also I have so many ideas, and also all of the grief that I felt in my life. And it goes way back to childhood. All of that is coming to fruition. All of the knowledge that I've gained as a therapist, and just life experiences. Like, all of that has been building to something, and here we are. Like, this is the jumping off point, And I know that I could not be where I am without, the time that I've spent with you, Jamie, and also all of these offerings that you've had, including this group. This group was so important to this last kind of, again, taking the leap.
Yeah.
And knowing that I could do it, and knowing that that I had the support that I needed. And even though there are still fears around finances, like that will happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
as I'm hearing you share this now, I'm remembering back to when I did kind of like pitch you on joining this. It very much was like practitioner to practitioner, even more so than it was just like person to person. And what's coming up in my body now is that I had a sense at the time that there would be things that would emerge, because I had no idea what was going to emerge, but that there would be things that would emerge in the 3-month process that would be ultimately beneficial to you as a practitioner. But boy, did I not anticipate the form of that. And I don't know if you want to share any specific details about, you don't have to get into the weeds of like names, places, anything, but I do see there was like one really profound pivotal shift for you. If you want to speak to that at all, like to be more specific, because that's striking me now of like, whoa, like that path of like, okay, I know what I know and I'm manifested in a really specific way materially for you.
yeah, so part of what's gone on in this time of my life has been like a realization that I've spent most of my life working for other people. Mm-hmm. I've played the game of climbing the ladder, so to speak, in the mental health world and mental health field, and that's all been amazing. However, I think there were a lot of things that happened that came together around deciding what I wanted and needed and what was aligned with me for my future was not going to happen within the context of working for other people.
Yeah.
I just, it's beyond time for me to build out my empire, so to speak. It's
hell yeah, Jess.
Yeah, thanks. It's I have things to say, and this sounds arrogant. This is like the little one in me that's like, no, don't
hold it, Jess. You can hold it. You can do it. Stretch to that size. You can hold it. Like, we're holding it with you.
Don't be arrogant. Like, but yeah, I think, and again, this group has helped me too. Like, realize that I have like very specific and unique talents and gifts, life experiences, ways of communicating that really could help a lot of people. And I really, really want that. And even as I'm saying it, I'm like,
that's the edge. That's the edge right there. That edge, and like previously, totally unconsciously, not even knowing that you didn't have capacity to meet and then expand beyond that edge is what kept you for so long in those loops of, I'll just build someone else's dream. I'll just do someone else's thing. I'll just be your right hand gal over here. Like I'll do your paperwork. Just like, cool, fine. So that, again, capacity is everything. Everything is capacity. And having watched your capacity so significantly expand over these 3 months, again, bringing it back to that, the way that I kind of teed you up was just because I'm having a moment of realizing that there was no thought in my mind when I first invited you into this container that what would emerge on the other side is that you would like decide to quit building someone else's thing and forge your own path out on your own. And like, it makes perfect sense to me now in hindsight, that of course that's what happened. And it's been incredible to watch you, again, even just like you just did, like, what feels true is to own my skill set here and to own like how good I am at doing the thing that I love. That feels true. But wow, am I suddenly meeting something in me that is bringing up tons of somatic disruption, lots of discomfort, and the ability to like hold that and be witnessed in holding that. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the fucking thing. That's the thing. And the fact that you now are becoming clearer and clearer that in addition to one-on-one work, like you want to facilitate group stuff that allows people to meet those edges, expand beyond them, be witnessed and held in doing the same thing. It's amazing. It's really, really
thanks
cool.
so much. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I was going to say to, like, Joan, you came in, I think about a month in, maybe. And I remember, because I think that your being in our group and what you brought about capacity, what you talked about in terms of capacity, was really, really important. And back to like you being vulnerable and you showing up vulnerably and talking about your experiences with burnout as a doctor and all of the things that go into. We just want to care about, we just want to care for people, right? But there's so much paperwork. There's so much.
I wish it was that simple.
I know.
Yeah.
And maybe it is in a, like in different settings.
Yes.
Not long after that, like it just came to me again when I was doing a whole bunch of paperwork, which I'm good at too. Like I'm a writer. I can do it. It's not that. It's just like a lot of these things are never going to be seen again. No one's going to ever see that again. And if I'm going to be writing, I want to be writing something that might be seen and that might actually help people. And, but also like you just sharing so vulnerably about what led to your burnout and kind of where you are now was really, really helpful to me. And I had this thought, like, I was not made to spend hours and hours of my life, my limited energy and capacity to work on paperwork. I want to help people.
Amen, sister.
Not the dream. Not the mission.
I want to help people.
Not the dream little you had when you were like, I want to be a healer. I want to be a helper. I want to be whatever it is that you dreamed about being when you were little. It was not the vast majority of your time being taken up with like paperwork and charting for the purpose of like billing and insurance. It wasn't that.
I think that might be my tagline. Wasn't made for paperwork.
There you
or
go.
something like that.
You and Christy Lynn, both of you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing all of that, Jess.
Yeah, thanks.
Having heard what you guys were saying about community and knowing that the theme of this whole season and the title of this episode is pleasure in community, I'm curious how your relationship to pleasure has shifted over the last while, including like your time here in the refuge. Maybe we'll go in the reverse order for fun. So Jess, I know you were just chatting, but wanted to share again, then we'll go kind of back around.
Sure. I think sometimes I've brought this on myself, but I haven't always felt witnessed, or like a lot of my life, I sort of felt invisible, right? And so the religious background that I was in, like it was like don't be seen kind of. And in certain ways in my family as well. Everybody's doing the best that they can, but like just that, like I need to not take up space. I need to not be loud or too much or all of that. And the pleasure that's come from this is really being seen. I mean, I came into this group just like I am going to be my most authentic self out of the box. Like session 1, I'm going to be who I am. And again, that has grown over time. The like more and more ability, capacity, space, to Constance's point, like to really just be and be witnessed. And I mean, it's indescribable how I feel held in this group, and also to witness other people's growth. And some people that maybe were quieter in the group that didn't necessarily share during group on Tuesdays, but were very much engaged, getting to know some of those people behind the scenes and being able to be an encouragement to them has also been a huge. I've just taken a lot of pleasure in being able to be other people's cheerleaders too. Like, just like I've received from Constance and other people like that one-on-one like encouragement, and the encouragement in the group as well. But I mean, the people that I've met in this group are life-changing people, and it's been really neat to be held and also to hold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's beautifully expressed.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about you, Constance?
This is such a big question.
Pleasure.
Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about these things, right?
Secret.
I'm so grateful to be talking about this. So I've noticed such a huge shift in my body in the past 3 months. You know, you came in saying our constitution is either open or closed. And so much of this work is done internally, you know, in our inner terrain. But then, like you've also said, so much of it cannot happen without relationship, and we're always in it. It's just bringing our attention and awareness to that. And it's been challenging for sure. Like, I feel contraction even in my body right now as I'm sharing with you guys, like it's present. But my ability to sit with that has grown so much. And also there's something about the community aspect of this helping my heart to open, my body to open, my mind to open, like every aspect of me to open, makes it available for pleasure, for just this feeling that you guys so often speak of like, I'm in a body and I have all these senses, and not white knuckling at all, not being afraid that, oh, I found this good thing and if I don't do this, it's going to leave, but just really being able to continue to come back to this has been a huge part of being in community and watching everybody else do this and share stories of how they came back to it, and not holding shame when we do this again, not shaming ourselves for it because it's so human.
That's right.
But just knowing there's always a pathway back to that. And additionally, I don't know that I've mentioned this, but I, in the process of the past 12 weeks, I guess, I had a big transition where I left a business I was working on and then have transitioned into a new one. And there was a lot that happened in between those two things. But I didn't realize how much I turned off my creativity. And that's part of my sacral chakra, and how just stifled that was. And I know that opening back up again is in large part due to being in this group, and it's so pleasurable. Like, I mean, we're all creative beings, you know, and being able to use that again and not be in perfectionist mode with it because of a lot of the work we've done has been really huge. So I'd say those are the things that come to mind. But there's a lot.
And what a gift to the world that your creativity is back online, because our creativity and the things that we birth from that part of ourselves being fully online and fully alive is always a gift to the world. So that landed really well in my body, hearing you say that felt really good. It felt really pleasurable to hear you say that that's part of what happened for you in these past 12 weeks, is like that came back online more. So, wow. Yay.
Yay.
Could I say something to that too?
Please.
I think that gap that Constance is talking about, like I feel like that was kind of the entry point for the two of us to be closer, like to have a one-on-one relationship and a friendship that's growing, because I think I know that we were both in that like gap, you know, and lots of grief and lots of confusion and what happens next and all of that. And again, I think that you sharing so vulnerably too with the group made me want to know you more. And and it has been a pleasure to know you.
Same. So grateful. You can't make this stuff up, the timing of things.
I know.
So true.
And I just keep saying, of course.
The warm fuzzies.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Of course it's this way.
I'm just going to sneak in here
I'm
and
so
say
grateful.
a little note about pleasure and say really quick and just say one of the absolutely most pleasurable parts of holding this container for me is that in this first iteration of it, it's a lot of people that I've had like relational touch points with for, for many years in various places. And they're all fucking meeting each other and falling in love with each other in front of me.
So
like
fun.
that's my dream. That's my dream. It's so cool. Because that for years I've just held this like, man, I bet this person would get along really well with this person, but there's no organic way to make that happen. And there's still some of those that are like waiting to. I've got some matchmaking left to do ahead of me, but some of it happened in this group, and it thrills me. It's very pleasurable to see that happen.
So good. Richard, how about you?
Yeah, I was sharing last night in our closing of the Refuge that I was going to ecstatic dance.
Yes.
I'm in this ecstatic dance series right now that every week we commune with a different animal. And so last night's animal was deer.
Beautiful.
It was this like, how do you keep an open heart and soft eyes and being aware of your environment? So we were doing our dance, and then halfway through, our facilitator asked us, okay, well, now partner up and like mirror the other person's movement. I'm like, whoa.
That part's always hard for me in dance. In a dance setting, I'm like, let me close my eyes and be internal 100% of the time. When prompted to engage, oh boy, those are my edges.
Yeah, exactly. So I did have that sudden jolt of like, oh, because usually, even though we're dancing together, I'm still in my sort of own space, or I have my eyes closed and I'm just moving. And it was such an interesting experience because she encouraged us, like, you're like a herd of deer. You're not just by yourself. So literally, we were like our human animal herd. And like, yeah, I partnered with someone or like mirroring each other's movements. Sometimes I was leading, sometimes I was following. And then they're like, okay, now in your pair of two, go find another pair. And so it was just quite a cool experience. And like, it speaks to this like pleasure and community because you get to vibe off of other people's energy. And everyone at the end when we were debriefing just remarked how, even though there's that initial fear or anxiety that was there, it was so playful and joyous to be able to do that with one another, non-verbally too, because we're just talking through gestures. Reminds me too, I think in your first or second session, you had told us to introduce ourselves, or like to describe how we were feeling, but we can't use words. I remember that like very challenging, but also very eye-opening because we have ways of communicating or expressing ourselves through sound and movement and touch that is not like spoken formal word. So I've just been much more open to that now of just seeing like, how do I express myself? How are other people expressing themselves? Yeah, pleasure has been an ongoing journey for me because I feel like building off what other people said, like for a long time, it feels bad to feel good.
Boys, say yes. Yeah.
We're taught that.
Whether or not it's like I don't deserve it, or it's inconvenient or a burden to other people, or it's selfish, or whatever descriptors around it. So it's been quite the journey of like, what do I actually want? What feels good? Because for a lot of my life, it's I haven't done what I want. I've done things in relation to fear, as in like, I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want to be rejected. So therefore, I need to work very hard to earn my place and safety. Which is very different than like, what do I inherently or internally want and desire for things. So I think that's still turning on and like coming more alive. Certainly with this group to see Jamie, your authenticity showing up and being your silly, expressive, full body self. It's been very good as a role model for me too. And of course, being in this container where we got to meditate and move together and breathe together was very special too. Yeah. So more pleasure to come.
Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing that. There's something about what you just said and the way that you just said it that I just had this flash of an image and an awareness of we're going to be sharing physical space together in October at the Refuge retreat. Not directly related, but kind of related to this container. You don't have to have been in this container to attend the retreat. Anyone can attend the retreat, and you should, listener. You should attend the Refuge retreat. Richard will be there. Jess will be there. It's going to be great. Because at the retreat, we're going to have Kirsten Kelly, who is another guest teacher in the Refuge online container. She's doing these like 2-hour movement sessions every day. And I don't know like what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, but I can tell you that she is going to for sure be like stretching all of our edges through inviting us into deeper presence with not only our bodies, but other people's bodies as well. And the times that I have been stretched into that, it's that feeling of like right at first, it's like everything in me does not want to do this. I don't want to do this. And I wonder if that has to do with what you said about how kind of programmed we are in this way of like what feels good, like it feels bad to feel good, but like what could possibly feel more good actual to our animal bodies than like being in total authentic coherence with another animal body in this like nonverbal, I'm not performing a personality, I'm just being and I'm making eye contact and someone's making eye contact with me. Like it's interesting as I'm like saying this, I'm getting kind of sweaty thinking about that, but there is like a deeper part of me kind of in like the deepest part of my belly that's like, that's what I'm alive for though. Like I literally exist to see and be seen like that. So I just had this welling up of excitement of like, we're going to be in those movement spaces together in just a few months. So maybe we will get to have the experience of being deers together at the Refuge retreat.
Oh my God. I love that so much.
Joan,
and
you can come
I need
too.
to know the dates of this retreat.
October.
For some reason, I thought it was earlier.
We moved it.
Like October.
Girl, we pushed it out. Spaciousness. Like maybe like 2 months
I'm a
ago, we
fan.
were like, we'd have to rush this to make this up. Like we don't rush. So it is
No rush.
October
Yep.
1st through the 5th, 2026 at Basque Retreat Center. Yes. Write it down, girl. Write it down.
I'm literally like, put it on
Yes. Oh my God. Please come. Wow.
This is not like an advertisement of it, but
But it's working as one.
hell yeah.
That's pretty nice. I'm trying to get
I'm
better
like,
at telling people
that
about the
sounds
things
really
I
good.
do. I often forget to do that, to be honest, because I like doing the things.
Yep.
Speaking of edges, somatic capacity, I love doing the things. Standing in front of people, literally or figuratively saying, this is what I'm doing. I believe in it, and you should come. Wow, does that make me want to close like a turtle? So stretching my edges too.
You're doing
Yeah.
it.
I'm super happy to know that I'm not the only one.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It just makes sense. Yeah. Sarah, you're last to share.
Yeah. I'm thinking about pleasure and community for me and how my relationship with pleasure has changed throughout this experience. I think one of the things that stands out that brought so much pleasure to me was this constant reorientation back to our bodies that everyone did every week. And I feel like it was this process where I feel like usually when people share parts about their life and their story and their experiences, I feel like our bodies kind of get left out oftentimes of those conversations. And I noticed it in myself, like thinking about, how many experiences of my body have never been told to anyone.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa, like this is crazy. So I think just hearing people every week, like no matter what type of experience they were sharing, whether that was heavier, like grief, sadness, or something that was like very light and exciting. And I feel like so often it was like, and this is how my body feels about it. Like I feel heavy, I feel light, I feel something in my body. And I feel like every time someone would share something like that, it made me excited because I just think it's so cool that we all are tuning in to our bodies in this way and feel comfortable sharing our experiences through the lens of our body. And just to have that space to let our bodies really be the center of attention. I feel like it's so rare to find places, at least for me so far in my life, where I feel like I feel safe enough to do that. And this has definitely kind of, kickstarted a journey for me to find more of those places and more of those people where I feel like I can do that. And the second thing that I wanted to say was, when I think about pleasure, I also think about like spaciousness and vitality and just like feeling alive. And I think through this experience, I have let myself feel things more deeply than I have in the past. And even if that's heavier emotions, like I just feel it. I am like, I feel something right now. I don't need to know what it is. I don't need to articulate it perfectly and have a name for it, but like I feel something and I'm going to let myself be in this state and cry if I need to. Share with someone if I need to. Or and the same with other emotions. Like if I feel excitement or love or something, I'm like I feel this in my body. It's like coming up and I can't just like shove it down. So I'm like, I feel like I need to somehow express it in some way. And I think I'm still learning like how to do that. And like what my body needs in different situations, to how to express it and release what's coming up. But yeah, I think that's contributed to feeling more pleasure. It's like, I think feeling the whole spectrum of humanity and life and emotions and everything, like, even though it's harder, it's more challenging for sure. But I think it leads to a more pleasurable life. And if you can do that with other people who also feel that way, then it's just like times a million.
Bingo.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, presence is pleasurable. Like presence is pleasure. Like being presence to your body, to the experience you're actually having, like that is, again, I can't say it better than I already said. It is pleasurable, but like that is the basis of pleasure. Like that is pleasure itself. And like you just said, to that on its own is amazing and a huge part of what aliveness means and looks and feels like. But that done in the presence of other people who are also doing that with and for themselves. Oh my God. Like what? Nothing better. Literally nothing better. As we have said in the Coven for a very long time, there's nothing else to do but feel it. And I know we joked about singing. We don't all have to sing this together, but I don't think I've even shared this here in the 4 seasons we've done this podcast. But my little shower song, though I don't take cold showers as much anymore, so I haven't sung this song in a little while. But my little jingle is, feels good to be in a body. It feels good to be in a body. It feels good to be in a body, even when it doesn't feel good. Because it's true.
Oh my God.
Oh
I've been
my
waiting
gosh.
for that shower jingle. You talked about it. You're like, I won't share it yet. You're like,
Joan, have I never done that?
You've never sang it. You're like, I just won't sing it this time. But you've like said the words,
No
but you've like
wow.
not wanted
Well, that's
to.
a testament
we all
to
just got,
my
like, the world
capacity
premiere
expansion through my experience with this group right there. I was like, I'm finally going to sing it. It's the moment. I'm going to sing it.
Yes.
I hope that doesn't get cut out.
All right.
That'll probably be the outro.
Yes.
I was about to say that should be your that should be the podcast theme song.
Like theme song. We can also
Okay, new theme song. Great. Perfect.
Can I reflect something back to you, Jamie and Sarah, just really quick, that brought me a lot of pleasure.
Yeah.
Both in like you singing the song and then Sarah and everything you said. What I just was realizing is that it's like this return to this like childlike innocence of exploration of these things. And like that feels so good. Because when you think about when we were kids and we made decisions about what we were going to do next, it was what our body was guiding us to, unless it was like mom or dad coming and telling us we had to do X, Y, Z. It was, we were guided by the intelligence of our bodies.
Yes.
And I feel like I saw that in you, Sarah, and what you were describing, and you just singing, obviously. And yeah, to make decisions and to exist, not just purely from here, like that feels indescribable.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah. Thank you, Constance. That's so true. I can highly recommend, and I'm going to guess that Joan would also echo this sentiment, that I highly recommend getting yourself some kids. If you'd like some children, if you want some greater access to that childlikeness,
label warning.
Highly recommend. You don't necessarily have to have them on your. I borrowed someone else's permanently, and that's a really good arrangement. I really recommend that.
Well, we've reached the end of our time.
Yeah, this has been gorgeous.
I can't believe it.
Wow, thank you all so much. This is it's been really juicy. It's been wonderful to hear your reflections and even just the shares that y'all have had, like back and forth to each other, reflections to each other. Thank you for being willing to do this. Thank you for being willing to join me in the first place on that journey that unfolded in a way where like I feel so clear, similar to what so many of you and other people in the Refuge have shared, like going through a transformational process and having so much clarity and also curiosity on the other side of, I may not know the form of what comes next, but I am crystal clear on the essence. I want this forever. I want this feeling, this kind of energy all the way down. So yeah, thank you all so much for being here.
Yay. Well, we had thought we would still end this podcast the way we end all of our podcasts. I guess quick plug for if you want to hear Jamie and I talk more about this topic, right? And share how we've been experiencing our anatomy lately and sort of spill the tea a bit to each other. You can join us on Substack, and there's a special paid episode every week that pairs with the main feed episodes where you get a little bit more of the tea and the behind the scenes.
After dark. Well, that'll be next week. Our episode next week is about sex. So the behind the paywall is going to get spicy.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign up.
Yeah, great.
Let's go.
I will be sharing about my experiences in a dungeon. So if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what else will.
then it's not for you, and that's good too.
Correct. Yeah. I bless you on your way.
Yeah, but to close off this episode, we usually dedicate either some part or system or aspect of our body and sort of lift it up as something we want to celebrate and honor this week. So this time I'm going to go alphabetical because I do like switching up who goes
look at her
first,
go.
just to keep so Constance, that means you're first.
Goodness. Well, in this particular moment, I'm feeling my the muscles in my face from smiling so much. And I'm incredibly grateful for that. Incredibly grateful. But connected to that, I would say I really want to celebrate my voice, my throat, and an opening that I'm feeling with her, as shaky as she is sometimes. And as much as I can hear sometimes my voice run to the back of my throat or try to escape. We're just practicing more, using her more, and having more opportunities to do that. And like you guys so beautifully said, so much of this is about the reps and about the practice and just keep coming back to it. So this was a great opportunity to do that. And I do feel very safe with y'all, but it's still a challenge, and I just want to honor her for being here.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you, Constance, and thank you, Constance's voice.
Yes. And Jess, how about you?
I am thinking my heart. I've always been a very deep feeler, and that hasn't always been celebrated. And this group does celebrate my heart, does celebrate my emotions. I'm not too much. I just want my heart to remain open and when it closes, I have people that help me. Like, again, when I get scared or whatever, people that are saying, like, keep going. Like, your heart is, and your emotions and all of that is your essence.
Mm-hmm.
That is who I am. I am sensitive, and I've been doing this, but I just want to continue, like, again, pour out my heart on the people around me, the people I may never know. I just want to, on humanity, like, and I can't do that if my heart is closed or hidden or, and so, I think my heart is the part that I would honor and dedicate.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you, Jess, and thank you, Jess's heart. Richard.
I was wondering if it's going to go to Jamie or Joan because I'm like, J's are next.
I guess we're skipping ourselves. That was fine. We do it every other week. We're thrilled to have you all answer this.
We're honoring all of your bodies this time.
Want to dedicate this episode to breath.
Yes.
Breath means so much to me in so many different ways. One of my yoga teachers put it as speech is an extension of breath. And so all of our speech acts in our day is really just a reflection too of how we breathe and how we be in our life.
Yes.
I remember one of my so I'm learning about anatomy in my yoga course.
Yes.
And one of the aspects is like, how do people breathe? And our teacher brought in, like, what did he bring? He brought in, like, these, like, plastic bottles and bags and, like, tape and elastic bands. And he's like, build a working model of your lungs and, like, how you think you breathe. And we all try to fiddle around with it, but, like, how does this thing work?
That's a cool teacher training. Right. Yeah, no one got it right.
No, it's fun. We get to do, like, arts and crafts.
That's so cool.
So no one got the model quite correct. And then he showed us, and what happens is, for folks that don't know, I didn't know, that, your diaphragm is a muscle. It expands, which it opens up more space in your lungs, negative pressure. And because there's more pressure in the surrounding environment, air literally flows into you.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. we think we're like sucking up air like a straw. But really, it's like you're opening up space in yourself physically, and life and air flows into you.
You're just physically, receiving.
But I feel like it's such a good, like, metaphor too. That, like, life is flowing into you. And I'm a big word nerd, so I love searching up, like, the etymology of words. So the word inspire, for instance, it's in and spire as in, like, spirit, or you can think of, like, breath of life or animating force. So when inspire literally means to, like, breathe into.
Yes.
Inspire. And then aspire is, like, to breathe towards. So it's also the same essence of, like, you're using your life force or your breath of life towards things we care about and that we're constantly flowing into us too. So the word has so much meaning and layers to it. And it's both something that's happening all the time, but also something we can very much consciously be aware of and leverage as a tool too. So the breath.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Inspiration and expiration.
I felt myself start breathing more deeply as you were sharing that, just becoming more consciously aware of my body and my breath. So thank you. That was really, really well received.
All right. And Sarah?
I want to dedicate this episode to my gut.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta get a gut in there.
My gut holds a lot of different emotions and complexities and contradictions, and Yeah. And I feel like it's a space that in the past has created sometimes a more complicated relationship with my body. Um, and through this experience, I feel like I'm learning how to soften to it and be with it and not run away, and like letting things bubble up to the surface more. So yeah, I want to continue doing that and hear what it has to say.
Mm. Oh, thank you, Sarah's gut, for always telling the truth.
Yes.
And for also leading you to say yes to the refuge, leading Sarah to say yes to the refuge. Thank you, Sarah's gut. Mm-hmm.
That was, that's what happened.
Wow. Wow. I love how every one of you, what you shared, Constance, voice, Jess, heart, Richard, breath, Sarah, gut, like I can energetically see and feel that when I think about each one of your journeys over the last 3 months. Like, I can't explain it, so I won't even try and put verbal language around it. It's just like, whoa, does each one of those feel absolutely true for each one of you? That's so cool to feel that and to see that. So, wow.
Love it.
Well, I don't want this to end, but it has to.
I actually have an idea.
Okay. Yeah, great.
I actually think we should all sing your jingle.
Oh
and
my God.
It will sound it will sound chaotic.
Yes.
But maybe a bit like a round. But like I think we should do that.
Well, let me just say really quick.
Just shaking your head.
Let me do the thing that I'm working on. Let me expand my capacity and say the next round of the Refuge.
Yes.
We are getting started in August. Enrollment is opening in July. So right now the wait list is open and it is filling up with people, which is so exciting. So if you go to jamieleefinch.com, you will see it. It will be right there. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly through one of the various channels that I've already spoken about here, Instagram, email, the Experiential Anatomy Substack itself. And I'm happy to answer any questions and would love to see you there if you're interested. Whoever you are listening to this, I can't wait to meet you in the Refuge. Okay, I did it. I did it. You did it.
Way to promote
Thank you.
your magic to the world. It is a service to do it, even if it feels hard. Like it's so important. Yes. And yeah, thanks to each of you for the time you've spent with us and for how you've shared and on a recording that people will listen to. Ooh, you all did it. And like, that's so fun. And hopefully that was a fun growth experience for you.
I feel like this was also definitely like very capacity expanding. Like my initial reaction was like, no, I'm not going to say good things. I have nothing to say. Like, I don't know. But then I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
What if I just do it? And it's okay if what I have to say isn't the most articulate or put together yet.
I love that. We love that. Yeah, you were like, I don't know if I can. And your gut was like, that means we must. Let's go.
Challenge accepted.
So good. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, with that, now we are going to close in benediction with our new hymn.
Here we go.
Okay. A 1 and a 2 and a...
Feels good to be in your body. Feels good to be in your body. Feels good to be in your body.
Even when it doesn't feel good.
That was terrible, and I loved it. Oh, wow.
It was perfect. It was perfect. I love it so much.
Okay. Thank you all so much. Listeners, we will see you over on Substack for Experiential Anatomy After Dark. And that's all for today, here, now. Love you all. Thank you.
Everyone say bye, but don't actually leave the room.
Yes.
Bye.
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 This is Experiential Anatomy. Thanks for listening. I'm Joan Chan.
And I'm Jamie Lee Finch. Experiential Anatomy is co-hosted and created by us.
Amber Wyndham is the editor. Julia Wyndham is the supervising producer.
Senior producer is Elizabeth Wyndham.
Our theme music is Park Pier 3 by G's Guy.
If you have any thoughts, questions, or stories to share about this week's episode, email us at exanatomy@gmail.com.
Please follow, rate, and review on your favorite podcast platform. And remember to join us over at exanatomy.substack.com.
Experiential Anatomy is produced by Windhaven Productions. I didn't realize the choir that you're in is an online choir. I kind of shorted out a little. I was like, how does that work? Like, how are you? I'm just imagining, like, I once had Happy Birthday sung to me over Zoom by like 7 or 8 people. Yeah. It did not sound good. It was rough.
So we're not going to sing, okay, guys? Don't worry.
Well, we'll see.